All right, what up, y'all? So in this video, Rob Dyrdek talks about how it was losing his, right-hand man, Big Black. I've never heard him speak on this, so let's check it out right now. Hit the like button, guys, and let's go.
I did want to talk about the passing of Big.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, man, that show was my childhood. That and The Bachelor, as indicated on.
If you go on about this, I'll throw.
I'm just saying, I watched The Bachelor with my papa and Robin Big with my brother. What we did, and what an amazing show. You sort of even pioneered the reality odd couple format. Again, you've done a lot of stuff.
Well, keep in mind, there was no such thing as comedy reality. The only hybrid back then was sort of what the Osbournes was because they were funny together, but it wasn't when we pitched them. We went into MTV and pitched. It was called Best Friends. I came in with the song "People Let Me Tell You About My Best Friend," and they were but when they wouldn't buy that show. They bought Rob Dyrdek's Rules to Success. And rule number 1 is always surround yourself with good people. And he was the person that I surrounded myself with. You know what I mean? And then when we shot the pilot, it was terrible. They made us write an entire script. And second day of shooting, we're in the kitchen and we were supposed to do this whole script. And all the executives were in the living room watching us. We were supposed to be saying lines essentially. And then he's like, man, if we were in prison, I'd get you. And it's okay, first of all, you couldn't even catch me. Oh, I could run you down. You couldn't run me down. And it was that moment was then it was no, let's have a foot race now. It was forget about the script. Let's see if you could catch me. Then they began to see oh no, this is
let it run.
This is who they are. It is a buddy comedy, but it had never existed before. So they didn't understand how that was even possible. Then they allowed us to create and really Shane Nickerson, who was a story editor, was brought in to really reinforce here's how you build story around these guys, which allowed it to become Rob and Big instead of being one season and done, a pilot and done of Rob Dyrdek's Rules to Success.
Mini horses.
Mini horses.
Well,
oh my God, I wanted a mini horse so long because of you.
You have to understand.
I remember that.
I went on a mission to figure out how to get a small horse. This is real life.
Dude,
this is great.
Mini horses. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God! Listen to me.
This is great.
When I go to the network and say first episode, I'm getting a mini horse. They came back and said we don't like it. We don't want to do it. And I said okay, all right. So here's the deal. When the season opens up, there's going to be a mini horse here. So you guys can either film it or and I had made such a big deal about it of I'm getting don't tell me what I can do. It's my house. I'm putting a horse in it. And then when we shot it and showed up to pick up that horse, it was the realest moment of Big Black being man, sure you want this big ass horse, right? Because it was like a pony. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in my mind it was like a dog this big, but damn, this thing's we can't even pick this thing up. And but I had committed and it was yeah. You know what I mean? And it created this, obviously incredible device, but never had a relationship with the horse. We were never cool.
They're notoriously mean though.
They're super mean, and luckily we found a place for him to live, and I had to spend all that money to build a switchback trail down my property to get him down.
Wow.
And then we would literally shoot a scene, and I'd be peace. And then the handler would come in and take him down the switchback and take him to somewhere in Burbank. And then when we'd shoot a scene, I could bring him back. Yeah. So the relationship soured pretty quickly.
Oh man!
When I realized this is livestock.
Imagine all those MTV producers are we told you.
Yeah, no. At this point, they're it's gold. He's a genius. He's a genius. The mini horse is such a good idea. You know what I mean? But yeah, it wasn't. The relationship wasn't what you'd think it was. You
weren't horsing around.
Yeah, and then look, I think for him, it's the sad part is even he was it was chasing him. Right, heart condition was chasing him. Everyone in his family died young. He was doing everything he could nonstop, from going to the doctor,
Big Black.
super consistently, and he was still in his 30s at that time, and and going super consistently, and then preemptively getting a defibrillator if like his heart shut down, it would shock his heart back on. Like all of this, doing every single precaution. Like even in the year that he passed, like he lost like 100 pounds and like got through, did so many, just doing everything that you possibly could in order to not have it catch you, and still caught him. You know what I mean? Like it was just chasing him down his whole life, you know?
Not to trigger you, or hopefully this doesn't come off sensitive, but if Big were alive today, how do you think he'd be integrated in your life still?
You know, I don't know. Like when I think about, you know, because once Fantasy Factory ended, you know, because you got to think like you know, keep in mind, I wrote the idea for a skit and a skate video. You know what I mean? And like we didn't like cast it. We called like the San Diego local security company and was like, we're looking for like a big guy that's kind of funny. Like, and it was just, he showed up and we shot the skit for the skate video, and me and him just started flowing. And then the skate video blew up. Then we did a car race across Europe together, and they filmed a documentary about it. And that's when Jeff Tremaine saw that and was like, you guys should do a show. You know what I mean? Like, well, really, Ruben Fleischer, who was the director of that documentary, showed it to Tremaine, and both of them were like, you should do a show, you know? Now,
hell yeah.
But it was taxing, and then we had a blowout, like, in season 3, because it was like, you know, for him, it was this idea of like, oh, you're like this guy's security guard, when really, like, there was a lot of tension between me and him, and then...
Inevitable,
yeah, and then creative tension, and then once, you know, we blew out, then I was like, really, I sold them Ridiculousness at that time because I didn't want to shoot a show in my house, but they offered me all this money at the time, 125 G's an episode, to do another reality show. And that's when I wrote Fantasy Factory. And then, you know, we didn't talk for a long time, you know, probably like a year and a half. And then, man, it was like... You know, we were in like season like 3 or 4 of Fantasy Factory, and like, you know, he reached out. I don't know why we connected back, and then it was just like, we didn't talk for like 2 years, and then the moment like we talked, you want to shoot this show, and then he was just immediately back on, and then in Fantasy Factory to the very end, you know. Well, not even a question, we didn't even, he's like, man, I was just being crazy, whatever, let's get back to work. Like it was that clean and easy. And you know, when I think about like, you know, like how he was integrated into my life up to that point, you know, post Fantasy Factory, and now, you know, I'm just really happy that he was able to meet, and I have this amazing photo with my son right after my son was born, you know, like right before, in that sort of aspect. But, you know, you think about this world that we live in now, like his comedy and perspective lends itself to this format. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, even though like it's just that off the cuff, like being that sort of voice is like, I could see him in like a podcast zone for sure. In this zone, you know what I mean?
All right, y'all, I hope you liked that. That was Robbie Diesel, you know, talking about good old Robin Big show from my high school days. But all right, y'all, hit the like button. Let me know down below if you liked it. Some of your favorite memories of Robin Big, if you watched it. If not, go check it out. Robin Big, MTV. If you type that in, you should be able to find it. It's good old stuff. But all right, y'all. See you next time. Peace.